Floyd Mayweather came out and pointed out what anybody who's worked with Trump knows for decades, that Donald Trump's not a racist, and he's being attacked for that as well. He said Trump was never called a racist, but he's winning all these black awards for business, helping black folks, working with black folks. He was never called a racist until he ran for office against the Democratic Party and the plantation system. Now, speaking of that, the United States allows you to come here, have a baby, and then keep the baby here and be able to live here as an anchor baby. The United States has some of the most open borders in the world. That's why we're told we're racist and we're evil and we're bad all day. Well, Nancy Pelosi supports the DACA. And Trump has said if you can prove somebody's been law-abiding, been here 20, 30 years, and has all these degrees and jobs, get a green card and make them a citizen. Start that process. But that's not what's happened. So Nancy Pelosi is in her district and has a bunch of the Mecha La Raza Hispanic Ku Klux Klan folks in San Francisco who are just like the white supremacists, but just Hispanic. Same system. Come, and she's like, yeah, we're going to get DACA. And they said, listen, bitch, we don't want that, you racist. You're working with Trump. White people are bad. See, it's not just white folks that can be racist. It's tribalism. And, I mean, you can't go to Japan if you're not Japanese and live there, basically. You can't go to China. I mean, you can't go to areas of Africa. I mean, you get your head cut off. But it's okay. They use Western openness against everybody. Doesn't mean there's not great folks that come in the country of every color. The point is the guilt trip is used on Western whites because they know we have the Christian ethos so that we've got that manipulation. And it's all played off. And Mayweather and others are exposing it. So here's Pelosi, who's actually quite afraid. I'll play this in a minute. When she's like saying, hey, they don't want DACA. Lady, they don't want peace. Ford Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the CIA wants civil war and division, dumbass. So you're just some senile, instead of a meth head, you're a Botox head. You don't seem to get it. So she's shaking in fear. Here she is.
As we fight the fight, it's clear, you don't want any answers. Is it clear?
So they don't want the DREAM Act. No. They just get off on being an abused supposed group as they fight harder than hell to try to get into the United States. They're not trying to get into Sudan. They're not trying to get into Libya. They're not trying to get into Iraq. They're not trying to get in anywhere. They want to come here and bitch and complain. And they're not the way most Hispanic folks are on average statistically. But they're the ones in the universities being brainwashed and taught to be little butt-hurt weasels. So the colleges are worthless. 90+% of their degrees are worthless. That's even in mainstream news now. It's over. Big education killed itself. It tried to create a cult of political people because they knew that education was worthless, to be their little political bots for a takeover. And the coup plan of Western universities to take over America and create some professor world where you control everything through your retarded bots, your little servile, murderous Antifa, your BLMs, your Metro, your Razas, it's DOA. Dead on arrival, whores. And let your Google censor, let your Facebook censor, let your Twitter censor. We've been digging in for decades. And we're ready to clean your clocks politically. And if you're dumb enough to try to pull off some Civil War crap, about 90% of the military and everybody else is on our side. So good luck with your bullshit. We're going to force feed everybody choice and freedom and free market. Even as you sit here and bitch, we're not North Korea or Venezuela. You're going to be free. You're going to have choices. You're going to live in a land that respects you, even if you want to shit all over it. Paul Pelosi sits there as a symbol of the weakness of the Democratic Party and shakes in her shoes. Ha! And Hillary talks about a new election. Truth is, a lot of you people that have flooded in here trying to piss all over the country, you're just victims of brainwashing. But if you don't recognize the brainwashing, you don't deserve the chance you've got. You've come from a lot of third world serfs that bought into propaganda before. Don't you want to buck the curve and stop buying into the socialist song of collectivism and race war? Don't you actually want to have a future? Hey, it's up to you. I'm going to be a winner one way or another. I'm Alex Jones, and this is the Info War. them out, huh? My fellow Info Warriors, I am very excited to be able to announce to you the introduction at InfoWarsLife.com of a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWars Life formulations like Survival Shield X2 and Super Male Vitality. Just go to InfoWarsLife.com today, select your favorite product, click on Auto Ship before adding to cart, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. Every time you choose Auto Ship at InfoWarsLife.com, you get 10% off and you won't have to worry about running out and having to reorder next time. And of course, you can cancel with one click anytime. As you know, I'm all about the idea of a 360 win, and the new auto ship feature at InfoWarsLife.com is a sure win for everybody. A win for liberty, a win for health, and a win when it comes to big savings. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today and save 10% on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting auto ship at checkout. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.